Welcome back, Ole Miss fans, to another episode of the Rebel Talk. It's your host, Zach Mareth. As always, I'm back with Billy Keel. And like I said, the other podcast, we're going to continue to stay on the topic of Lane Kiffin as this situation progresses. And yeah, it's exhausting. I mean, I'll be the first one to tell you guys, I'm over it. All right. I'm ready to focus on the main storyline of the season. And that's that Lane Kiffin's team, his team of players, has essentially clinched a playoff bid. Hopefully, especially if they take care of business in Starkville next week, that would be a home playoff game for the first time in history here. And it's a really special story with a Division II quarterback. Like, there's so many other things we should be focused on. And unfortunately, we continue to get more updates about the situation. So we're going to bring it to you here. But first and foremost, what's the next week looking like for you, Billy? You going home for the break, bro?
I am. I'll be back in New Jersey. Nice and excited. Can't wait to watch the Egg Bowl from my couch, honestly, like at home,
Yeah,
just with my family and my friends and all that.
I
I
agree.
can't wait.
You can kind of like, I don't know. There's something about being in person, like with that suspense, dude. It's a whole different level. I'm excited.
I mean, school's whooping me, so I just can't wait to take a whole week of just sitting around and doing nothing.
Yeah, just catching up on your thoughts, all that good stuff. Yeah, it's a good time for break, especially with all this stuff. Hopefully, we get an announcement sometime soon. But I guess the more recent news is that yesterday Florida said they were interviewing with John Summerall, and then 20 minutes later said that wasn't the case. Yeah, I absolutely agree that Florida planted this seed in the public to try and regain the attention of Lane Kiffin. And to be honest with you, I think Florida's out of the picture.
I
Once
agree.
LSU stepped in, it really shifted the entire landscape. And Florida fans who've been delusional through this whole process still refuse to admit that they haven't been good in 20 years. And over the last 5 years, they've been on par with programs such as Arkansas and Kentucky. So you can say what you want, but in terms of winning and, kind of promoting players to the NFL, things along those lines, yeah, Florida and LSU were in entirely different conversations. LSU's a top 3 job in the country, top 5 maybe for some people, but yeah, they blow Florida out of the water there, which is a relatively ironic after the hell that Florida fans raised on social media for the past couple weeks. But in my opinion, in my eyes, I think they're completely out of the situation. Do you think it's between two schools, or you still think the Gators have a chance down there in Gainesville, Billy?
Sorry, Florida fans. It's not going to happen. And I think that they still really want him. I think he would be a great fit there, but I just don't see it happening. I think with how he acted on Saturday as well is just like caring so much and like about winning that game to like I just don't see that about his school you're even slightly considering at that point.
Yeah, it doesn't help that he beat Florida in the process of all this. So
Mhm.
that's not good for them. I wish them luck. Not really. I mean, they were pretty rude, disrespectful, and thought of themselves in a way higher regard than I thought the entire time. So I guess have fun with the rest of your coaching search. Florida, LSU, I mean, I talked about it. The governor's involved there. There's a lot of weird things. They're having meetings tomorrow about the buyout for Brian Kelly. And it also was reported on the 24/7 board that Jimmy Sexton, the agent of Lane, is kind of, pointing Lane in the direction to make a decision soon because Jimmy also is the manager of all these different clients who are in the job market right now. So
I can
not
look it
only,
up, but he has everybody. I looked it up the other
yeah,
day.
I mean, not only is it affecting Lane and his relationships at Ole Miss and LSU, but I mean, look at the jobs that are open right now. Jimmy's trying to promote other candidates for this, and he really can't until this whole Lane Kiffin situation is over. So I know that'll be putting some pressure. Bottom line, I expect a decision to be made before the Egg Bowl, Billy.
Oh, I 100% agree with you. And pulling it up, this is like the Google AI thing. Says his client roster includes names like Kalen DeBoer, Steve Sarkisian, Mike Norvell, Lane Kiffin, James Franklin, Kirby Smart, and even Nick Saban.
Yep. Yeah, so he's got ties everywhere. His feet are wet pretty much everywhere in the game. And he's going to continue to influence those people to make decisions. And they can't do that if Lane's dragging this out between two of the biggest programs in America right now. The Keith Carter meeting, it's been reported by Chris Lowe, one of the most resourceful people in the business. They're going to be having a meeting with Lane Kiffin tomorrow regarding NIL funds. And during this meeting, I expect Keith to basically talk to Lane and say, hey, we need a decision as soon as possible. I think if you're Lane Kiffin and you're here in Oxford with your family and you want to stay for all these different reasons, and now Ole Miss is bringing to the table one of the largest NIL budgets nationwide, I think that's going to influence a decision. You pair that with what Jimmy Sexton's telling him, I think we'll get one sooner rather than later. And if I had to guess right now, gun to my head, I would pick Ole Miss because not only is he here right now with everybody, not only are we giving him the resources to succeed, there's a college football playoff bid on Ole Miss right now. There's a home playoff bid if you take care of business. And in a really strange world, there's a potential that you can have a first round bye at Ole Miss, not at LSU, not at Florida, at Ole Miss right now. Yeah. So look around, seeing that, having the Egg Bowl next week. If Ole Miss meets those NIL requirements, it'd be pretty silly for Lane Kiffin to even start continuing to explore these other options. What are your thoughts there, Billy?
I mean, I'm also not sure, but this week's Twitter rant from Lane Kiffin makes it feel like he's staying because he's just posting a bunch of Ole Miss stuff. Hashtag spot the ball in reference to the Egg Bowl. I don't know if you saw this one. He referenced the Field of Dreams. If you build it, they'll come.
Oh man,
talking about the Vaught. He doesn't stop, honestly, and it's never ending.
And you just know that. I mean, he is loving this attention. Absolutely love it. I mean, look at the things he's posting.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't. I mean, I understand it's Lane Kiffin. I feel like this is the same guy that like he's always been. Like he likes his attention in his media, but this is another level I've never seen. But I've never seen this with a player. I've never seen this with a coach, an owner, a GM. Nothing.
And I think the most ironic part about this is this happens at every SEC media conference. Lane's asked about the state of college football, and he sits up there and rants probably for 5 minutes at a time about the transfer portal, NIL, recruiting, all these different things. Lane is playing into that at the highest level right now because this isn't a thing in the NFL. You can't send your family on media visits to your rival team. You can't poach other coaches in the NFL. It's unfolding at a level we've never seen before with the guy who complains the most about the current state of college football. It's a little ironic, and hopefully it's resolved soon. Like I said, college football playoff implications. Ole Miss will be the number 6 team for this
week. As
of
now.
Yeah, as of now, right? Things can change. Very fluid there. But they're hosting right now. And if you win, not only are you going to host, like I said, there's a really strange world where you maybe could get that first round bye.
There's a really strange world where they still make the SEC championship. It's not as far-fetched as people think.
These things are still in the question. And now, I mean, a bunch of media people have been talking about it, but I'm going to bring, some light to it as well. If Ole Miss loses to State, you can't drop to 11 or 12 because those are going to be the G5 and the ACC bid. So if Ole Miss loses to State and the committee's debating who they should put in the playoffs, if there's another 2-loss team out there and Lane Kiffin hasn't committed to the team and now you're having internal conflict, I don't think Ole Miss makes the playoffs. There's a real situation where that is the case because you look at what they did with Florida State a couple of years ago. Travis gets hurt. They're undefeated. Yeah, they're not in the playoffs. Same situation here. If Ole Miss loses to State, all those distractions there with Lane Kiffin not making a decision, it could be enough to pull Ole Miss not only out of a home game, but out of the playoffs as well. And that's where it's not just all these things about Kiffin and all the media attention and LSU. It's like, no, there's still a season to be played. There's a home playoff game to be held in Oxford if you win against Mississippi State. There's an Egg Bowl to be played with your season almost maybe on the line to put yourself in the best position in the postseason. So it's really important that this gets figured out quickly. I can't even imagine what the players are thinking, along with the staff members. If this drags in next week, there is seriously a lot of reports that are going to be able to come out and say, hey, the players are frustrated, the staffers are frustrated, and now it just adds all this more additional drama against a state team who has nothing to lose in Starkville. So go ahead.
I saw a thing on Twitter, and this was just like one post. This isn't like a circulating thing, but I saw something that was like, Lane Kiffin has a flair for the dramatic. Watch him not make a decision before the Egg Bowl, and then Kewan Lacey's going to rush for a touchdown, pull up his shirt, and it's going to say year 7. And that's how Lane's going to make his decision.
I'm sure that's what's exactly what's going to happen. Just like,
but yeah,
the one before that I liked was that it was going to be like halftime of Florida, and he was going to run out and grab the mic and say, "I'm not leaving." Like, you can't believe this. I mean,
no. It was fully satire, but it was. Okay. I thought that was.
It is funny, and again, it's just so unlike. I mean, the fact that would be so good, man. It'd be so fitting for this situation that just makes no sense.
There was more to it. It was like he said Keemon's gonna go to where Elijah Moore hiked his leg up. To do the dog peeing on the fire hydrant thing.
I love Twitter. The edits and the Ole Miss fans have been awesome this week. There's a couple accounts who have coming back to life who are just trolling, and it's great content. If you're bored,
really is.
Go. I'll be like Thanksgiving break. I'll be scrolling all day. I don't even want to check my screen hours. It's
mine has officially eclipsed double digits.
Yeah, as long as the situation keeps going on, there's always something new that I'll be looking at. All right, we've touched on this. We're probably going to make a podcast in a couple days touching on it again. I don't know. No one knows. And if someone tells you that they know, they're lying. I want to get that off my chest. No one really knows what's happening. We're trying to give you guys insight and maybe make a prediction for entertainment purposes, but no one can tell you what's going on. But what we can tell you is that in the playoff bracket, this might have been the worst draw that I've seen Ole Miss get out of everybody. Looking at a matchup against a good Miami team with a guy in Carson Beck who spent years in the SEC, a coach in Cristobal who's going to have his guys prepared, and then A&M. We've talked about it. That's not a good matchup for Ole Miss. Offensively, I think Ole Miss can compete with anybody, but if you look at the quarterbacks you want to face, I don't know if Marcel Reed is that guy. I want to get kind of your perspective on that, Billy, and how do you think this plays out right now compared to the other brackets and the other matchups that you've seen for Ole Miss?
Still actually fairly confident in getting a win over Miami. I mean, this team has seen Carson Beck before, last year. So a lot of those guys on the D-line at least have, because I know Franklin and all them may not have played. However, like Perk, he knows exactly what's going on. He got to him last year, I even think.
Oh, yeah.
So, quite a few times. And with how Andrew Jones and Jaden Yates have been kind of flipping in and out, it's been good. And Daughtery, obviously saw him last year. So being the red, what is the green dot?
Yep.
That's what it's called. The green dot guy, I think, had the most experience against him. I think they'd be perfectly fine. Because I also think the Ole Miss offense is just too much. Don't get me wrong, Miami's a very talented team, very good. The ACC is just – this is like the second year in a row they were supposed to, crush the ACC, and they just haven't.
Yep.
And it's not the strongest conference. So that makes me think Ole Miss would definitely take care of business there. A&M, I'm so unsure because they haven't played a team that's above the upper half of the SEC, and that's not their fault because they don't make their schedule, and even some of the teams in their schedule were supposed to be these ranked top 25 teams. But I just haven't seen them go against the an upper SEC team this year. So I'm very interested in what would happen. And I think that's what's going to tell us a lot about the SEC championship if they do make it there, because there's a world. I looked it up last night. Ole Miss needs A&M to lose to Texas and Bama to lose to Auburn.
Interesting.
To make the SEC title.
I wouldn't say, I mean,
which isn't completely out of the picture. That's a
thing happen.
I mean, I don't know if you saw Iron Bowl, night game, Jordan Hare.
Yeah.
Auburn has nothing to lose
No.
against Alabama, who has 2 losses and everything to lose.
Yeah. Weird things happen all the time, man. I wouldn't count that out. Like I said, there is a way for Ole Miss to host and get a bye. Like, it's very much a reality. Would you want them to play in the SEC championship? How much does that weigh for you, Billy?
I mean, obviously, I think they're already in. I think with the Lane Kiffin stuff, no matter what, they're going to make it. You can't really say our losses are bad. I mean, you look at, like, say, hypothetically, they lose to State. You lose to Georgia on the road by 8 points, so 1 score. And you lose, depending on how bad the loss is, to a now bowl team rival on the road. I don't think those are bad losses.
No, that's valid perspective on it. Again, the only thing, if the Kiffin stuff wasn't happening right now, I'd say, yeah, Ole Miss is locked up. It's done. But again, it's just, even if it's not the argument for them not to make it, it's the argument of, can they host a playoff game, which would just be such a fun event and a good opportunity for the state of Mississippi. So there's a lot of things there. It's going to continue to change. But I mean, this week, despite not having a game, has been wildly entertaining. Man, that's what you get with Lane Kiffin. So like we said, we'll keep you guys posted. It's a fluid situation. If he goes to Florida, I hope I get clipped after what I've said to them earlier in this podcast. If he goes to Florida, I'd expect to be on the cover of every single Twitter post for the next month. I don't think that's the case, and hopefully that stays that way. Again, it's flip of a coin right now. No one really knows what's happening. But bottom line is, Ole Miss plays in the Egg Bowl in 8 days, and this team needs to be dialed in to give themselves the best chance to compete for a national championship. Anything else, Billy?
Pretty much, you got it. It's like it's not even like flipping a coin at this point. It's like rolling I don't know. Do you watch Stranger Things?
Yeah, of course.
It's like when they roll their Dungeons and Dragons dice, and it's got like all the different numbers on it. That's what it feels like. It's like, what are we going to do?
By the way, coming out next week, right?
Yes, sir. I'm so excited.
Dude, what's crazy is the last season that came out, I think I was visiting Ole Miss.
2022, so.
Yeah, again, appreciate you guys tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll keep you guys posted on the situation. Hotty toddy, and go Rebs. Thanks, guys.